Hey guys, welcome back. Your boy Denny C23 and Amaya Desire here with another review for you guys. Reasonable Doubt, Season 2, Episode 3, right here on Big Old Belt Media. Listen, how you doing, partner?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, but this episode was a lot. It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie though. Right now, episode 2 is definitely my favorite out of the batch.
You know what? It's too soon for me to cast a favorite. Only because I feel like with this season, they've been giving us so much that I want to know what direction it goes in next. Okay, so I'm saving my judgment for best episode.
I mean, listen, out of the 3 right now, that's just
Okay,
where I'm at with it, you know.
out of the three, I would say
Yeah,
yes.
out of the 3.
Out of the three, I would agree with that. I'm not gonna lie, because it definitely left us on a cliffhanger, and in this episode, we did get a lot of answers, right? So before we get into the meat and potatoes, let's start off with let's break this down a little different today, so we can kind of dissect all the stuff that was going on in this episode. So we're gonna start with Lewis and the kids. All right. As a parent myself, I am dreading these teenage years that are upon me. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine how Lewis felt in these moments. Okay. Like the first thing was okay, in a previous episode when she's like, I'm not a baby anymore, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So now it's like, is she stepping into Naima stepping into a new energy? Like, is that something that all girls go through at a certain age where you like, I'm a woman now, or I don't have to, I want to do it my way? Like, is that something that just clicks?
Yeah, I mean puberty, attitude, as most black hoes like to call it, smelling yourself, right?
Right.
Um, she's in this space now of like independence, figuring things out on her own, moving a certain kind of way, wanting to, of course, like fit in with the crowd, right? I mean, that's something we
Right.
all go through when we're in school. So I think that for Naima, she has been showing herself, but also this is, I think, a product of parents being too busy, right? Because
Uh,
Jax is really busy with her anxiety, getting over the kidnapping. Her friend has now committed murder, trying to stay out of it but still in it, right?
right.
And then you have Lewis, who is working really hard, also assisting with Jax, but obviously both of their careers as it stands right now are very demanding. So the kids are kind
True.
of just like, they're not on their own, but they're on their own. You know what I mean? So
I get that.
yeah, this is puberty hitting with the attitude and whatnot.
Listen, if I would have done what she did to my parents, just let's just say
Oh yeah,
punishment couldn't
no.
have been the only thing on the menu. Okay, so as we saw in the episode, man, let us know in the comments, man. First, what would you have done if you were Lewis? So he's gearing up to get on a Zoom interview. The Naima asks hey, I was supposed to. You said I can go to my friend's house, and everyone's linking up already. So is it possible you could take me? He's like, maybe after this meeting. Give me. I got 5 minutes to get on this meeting. If you can't make it today, maybe another time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She then takes that and runs with it. As Spencer comes in, and now Spencer's like, Dad, I'm not feeling well. I have a headache. And they get into a little banter about do you know where your mom keeps the Tylenol? No, you don't know. She must have moved it. So it seems like a lot of things are going wrong for him at this time. Like the daughter's
Right.
upset, the son is sick, he has a meeting to go on that's going on. And I feel like these are also things that Jax probably don't get to see a lot because they are busy, which is to your point earlier. Is do you feel honestly that if Jax was present in that moment, it could have been handled differently?
I mean, yeah, because Jax also has like a different kind of,
Bless
excuse
you.
me, she has a different kind of, thank you, she has a different kind of like demeanor, and that's always weird too, right? Because knowing that like sometimes, I mean, it happens where it's like both. Like sometimes the father can come in and instantly the kids don't play, right? And then
Right.
sometimes it's the mom, and the mom comes in and they already know like we can't do this. And I think
Right.
they're taking a little bit of advantage, not so much Spencer as Naima, but I do think that there wouldn't have been so much like back talk or like again, like more so Naima, less Spencer, because kids
Right.
when they want attention, especially when they're not feeling well, that's usually like I'm a grown up, and as soon as I tell my mom I don't feel well, I expect her to be here. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like one of those things you kind of revert into being a kid. So as a kid, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think they just need to, Jax and Lewis need to have this forefront where the kids know, like, listen, we're on the same page. You can't go by one without going by the other. I do think that Lewis is just finding his footing, really. So I don't know if it would have necessarily been like Jax coming in and things would have been different. I just think that Lewis is finding his footing being back in the
Okay.
house, you know?
Yeah, honestly, I think it might be a little bit of that too. Being in your own space for a while, and now you're back in the house, and the kids are a lot more demanding now that you're back in the house,
Mm-hmm.
which is bittersweet because it's like, yes, you do your part as the parent, but damn, I got a meeting. Like, can I get 5 minutes?
Right,
You know?
right,
So
exactly.
like I definitely understand that, man. So with the headache though, the fact that he told him, I feel like this is every black person's remedy to sickness, okay? To grab a cool towel and a ginger ale. Like, dude, that's your big
I
idea. Like,
mean, listen, the cool towel definitely helps for the headache, but the ginger ale, not so much. It just tastes good.
it just tastes good. Like what
It just tastes
like
good.
can y'all let me know the medicinal properties of ginger ale in the black community? Because I swear to God, they act like it's the drink of the soul, okay?
They do.
Like, so as we continue on, we see that Naima called up her friend, like, hey, must have been like on some, my dad said not gonna bring me. Is it possible your mom could come get me? So Lewis, in the middle of his meeting, gets a knock at the door.
Well, no, he's done his meeting now. He's like
Oh,
cooking dinner.
I think he's cooking dinner actually. He's done with the meeting, he's cooking dinner, and then he hears the knock at the door,
Mm-hmm.
and he notices it's one of the friends' moms or whoever, and he was like, Jax is in here. And she was like, oh, I know. Uh then Naima comes in like, yeah, you said you couldn't take me. You didn't say that I couldn't go. And
Right.
that right there was definitely a interesting point of view for me because technically he says he couldn't take her. He did not say she couldn't go. But in
Yeah.
black parent logic, if I say not today, maybe tomorrow, that mean no.
I mean, I think she would have been better off asking. I think that it came off as a sneaky move, right? The young lady shows up at the house. She's saying, "Hey, Lewis, whatever, whatever." He's like, "Jackson's here." She's like, "Oh, I know." She's like, "It's no problem. If anything, Naima can spend the night." And he's
Right.
looking very confused. She comes out here, little skirt, cute tennis shoes, and a Telvar bag. Man, where are you going? Like, hello, like, what's happening here? And so I think it was the not the lack of communication part. I think had she said that, okay, if you can't take me, can't so and so's mom come and get me, but now it looks like you're undermining him. And then
Right.
you have us having this conversation in front of company. Oh, absolutely not. You are definitely grounded. Go to your room and figure out what you did, and then we'll talk about it
About it
later.
later. Right. And it's heavy on the we did this in front of company. So
Mhm.
not only does it like I don't know what's going on in my own house, but now
Right.
I have to put that on display in front of another person's parent. Like that just isn't great.
Yeah.
Definitely felt
But
them on that.
it's ridiculous though. What kills me is she's saying the mom is like, I wish I could tell you it gets better from here, but it doesn't. And then tells my man good luck as she exits. I said, nah, that's that's
but I
crazy.
respected the realness. She's like, listen, I understand because she got daughter at the house. She know. Hey, see, that's what I was listening to. I heard that part very distinctly. Okay, it doesn't
Listen.
get better is the part that got me because it's like, why not? Like, why doesn't
That's
it get better?
I don't
Like,
know.
as a person who used to be a teenager, like, I feel
Did it
like
get better? I
did it
mean,
get better? I don't know, man. Like, maybe I should reach out to my mom and ask her, like, did I get better as I got older, or was it just like a lost cause? Like, I just need to know.
not a lost cause. That's wild.
Like, cause that's what it's seeming like Lewis is thinking right now. He's like, yo, I can't win around here. Like, you
I
growing up
mean,
fast.
she's growing up. They're both growing up. It's the hormones. It's the, it's the, I think, again, like I said, him, Jax, and the kids need to have a conversation, like a family meeting. I think we really need to understand how important it is to have a family meeting, like once a month, for everybody to come together, air your grievances. Even as kids, I think it's good for the children to have voices. You ain't gonna give me no attitude. You're not gonna be disrespectful,
Right,
but you can talk about how you're feeling, because that is also important. And just in talking about feelings, we have that moment that Jax has with Spencer. You know what I mean? And I think that that's super powerful, because again, kids are very smart. You know what I mean? He knows that his mom is going through something. What she's going through, can be up for debate, because she has many things happening, right? The
right.
anxiety, the going back to work, the court case, Chanel's situation. So all those things contribute. But he's saying, I really love the part about seeing him pull the book out, just because it shows his innocence still. And I think that that's
Right.
like actually really cool.
Yeah, honestly, I love seeing the book on the bed because it goes to show that although him and Jax had whatever quarrel, that he still adheres to his mom's advice, which was sometimes you're gonna have a bad day and it's okay.
Yeah.
And that's something I think everyone needs to hear. It's like, even though you're having a bad day today, it will pass. It's
Yeah.
okay. And that was amazing. I think that was one of the best moments I've seen between Jax and Spencer as well. So
Right.
kudos to you guys, man. And also, since we're giving kudos to Jax and her proper communication, can we talk about Jax and Lewis after she made the decision to, like, really jump in with Chanel's case?
Right.
And
Asking
she
for a second
this
share.
yeah, and I think that was amazing that she went to Lewis in that regard, because he comforted her in the way that, like, it's not just you, it's us. Like, you
Hmm.
don't have to do this alone. Like, only thing I require from you is honesty. And that either shows that therapy's working, therapy has opened up something in them, which I
Hmm.
feel is allowing them to have that, like, open honesty, that kind of vulnerability towards each other, which they probably lacked in the beginning of their relationship. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that was definitely something. And
Yeah.
also, like, she calls him when she's going through, like, the panic attack in the car. He's trying to walk her through it, trying to really get her to calm down. He gives her some breathing exercises which don't work, which was hilarious to me, because it's like, why are you so against your meds? Because she didn't feel it.
I mean, Black people in general are against meds. And I think that, we just are not a fan. And also we've been taught like you can get through it without having to take meds too, right? So I
Yeah,
feel like that's just a stigma of like you can tough it out, be strong, you got it. And sometimes you don't got it, and sometimes you need your meds. So just take your meds. I do like that Lewis knows his wife enough to know that things have gotten crazy with the Chanel case, right? Because before we thought it was going to be cut and dry. Then we were learning she moved the body. She waited too long to call the cops. Now things are getting crazy. Now we're learning about the money being moved, and you ran. So it's really a complicated situation now. So I love that she was saying like, hey, like I want to do both. How can we make this work so that I can
yeah,
successfully do both? And the
right,
communication for me, I believe that relationships um, only thrive when they have healthy, honest, open communication. And this is what they're showing us in this season, that they can actually move forward from the things that have occurred in their past if they continue to be honest with one another.
Listen, I 110% receive that and agree with that, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, when a therapist asks, "Do you guys want to reconcile or do you want to separate?" I said didn't know what the answer was gonna be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like, I'm glad that they're actually making the efforts to really.
Listen, there are a lot of couples watching this show and or not watching the show that need to ask themselves that question, because really and truly, do you want to reconcile or do you want to separate is the biggest question that most couples probably need to ask themselves when they're going through something that they think is, the marriage is going to take a hit. That's just how relationships work. You know what I mean? So,
Ooh, man, we gonna get on marriage just taking the hit in a little bit, but
mm,
oh man, but let's keep it going with Jax, man. We're gonna talk a little bit about Jax and Corey. Listen, the fact that the opening scene, well, part of the opening scene was them arguing over the phone of whose fault it was that Chanel got away is
mm-hmm.
freaking hilarious to me, because it's like you guys have bigger fish to fry and you're over here crying about Chanel and whose fault it is. Like, no, it's not about whose fault. It's about how the hell can we find her because you let her out of jail. I
Listen.
re- I agree it's Jack's fault, but hey,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I will say it is Jackson's fault, but I also think that with Corey, he has to. Nah, there's a way to talk to people that gets their attention in a way that doesn't make them feel defensive, right? So we talk about this all the time, like honey and vinegar. Both things attract flies, but one gets more than the other, right? So it's like sometimes Corey can, again, I feel like he was very honest about with Jax up front, like, hey, this is your friend, so you are in a very different space than I am. I'm on the
right,
outside looking in, you're on the inside trying to be all over the place, help and do these things. So I do believe that it was Jack's floor, of course, but I do think that Corey knows what he's doing, and she has to allow him the power to lead so that he can successfully win the court case. And I just think that, again, like you said, playing the blame game is not necessarily helping them in the situation at all.
right, and that's kind of where after this conversation, they find Jax and the friends stumble across a note in the bag saying "open in case of emergency," and they
Mm-hmm.
find a safety deposit box card, right?
Right.
And as we see, like the safety deposit box, they go into the bank. They notice that it had paperwork for the children of Chanel to be placed in the custody of the cousin Sally, and photos of Chanel being domestically abused, also taken by Sally.
Right.
Um, that scene to me was very, very heavy. Um, because not only is it proof that she truly was being abused, but it kind of makes it look like she set up killing him to me,
Mm-hmm.
so we later see like find out like that Sally took the photos and things like that, and Corey and Jax basically explains to Corey like what she found in the safety deposit box. And what?
I was just gonna say, I don't necessarily know if I feel like that was Chanel's lineup for killing JT. I do feel like she was starting to take control in making sure she had everything she needed to prove to, every friends, family, the world, that JT was a horrible man, that he was an abusive person. I do wish that there were more pictures though, because I will agree with that. I feel like if there was more pictures, then I could say, all right, this is, the game plan was really, I'm trying to get away from you, but I need all the proof I can get. These last handful of photos don't give me the I'm trying to escape vibe. It's the I'm just doing this to make sure I'm covering my ass kind of vibe. and I'm gonna kill you and make sure that people know that, or at least imply that it was due to the abuse. So I can see what you're doing there. I can see that.
Yeah. And with that, that's why it took me back a little bit because I'm like, she just randomly got the children's paperwork and these photos in the same safety deposit box.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, didn't leave no money for the kids. Nothing. Like, just left.
That's true.
So Jax and Corey has a difference of opinion on what to do now with these photos and how to reach the audience. And because Corey wants to use them to like gain some sympathy for Shanelle and to also alert the authority like that Chanel's been missing. And
Mm-hmm.
Jax is like, nah, we can't do that. Like, we gotta find her first. Da da da. And I think Corey has 110% right to feel the way he does about Jax is too close to this. Like, your friend thinking as a friend because you're not thinking like a lawyer.
Right.
And for that, it's like, how do you differentiate that too though? Like, because they've been friends since like high school.
I don't know if you can. I just feel like the reality of it is, you can't. Some people just aren't good at compartmentalizing, and I don't think Jax is one of those people. I think that when it comes to family, friends, people close to her, situations she's passionate about, she doesn't necessarily know how to just be the lawyer, and we noticed that in the first season. You know what I mean? So my thing is, know what your strengths and your improvements are, right? Your strength is that you can help Corey navigate XYZ. Your improvement part is that you're emotionally too close to this. Let Corey handle it where you cannot. You know what I mean? Pick the lane that works best and stick in that. Because there's nothing wrong with that. I think that sometimes people they get overwhelmed and trying to do everything. You don't need to. And I'm not a fan of Chanel's conversation with Jax either. We can get into that a little later. But I do think that Corey is the best player for this case for sure.
Right. And I feel like as they kind of work through their disagreements, they come to an agreement that they should do some type of press release to get in front of this before it turns out too bad. And Corey suggests that they go on IG Live to basically plead Chanel's case, kind of gain some more sympathy, but do it from Brandy Michaels' Instagram, who is a domestic violence advocate. And that was something I felt was a great idea. And Corey was actually shocked that Jax agreed because it was a great idea. I think once Jax started to like take a step back and really reflect on how Corey was showing up, and I think that's when she started to realize like, all right, maybe I am too close to this, but to be in a place where like your best friend is going through this type of situation, how do you not be there for them in the friend capacity? Like, I know what my job title is, but in the friend capacity, I need to be there for them. So that is definitely sticky for me. And while Corey is doing his thing on IG Live, they send out Daniel to go perform some magic tricks at the police department, and he happens to strike out.
Definitely striking out.
So my thing is, I applaud Daniel for trying anyway. Okay. Because it was really Cynthia's not here. What agency did she go to?
Right.
What's your name? Renee? Oh, Renee, you got beautiful eyes. Like, that was hilarious.
Renee isn't that a French name?
No. No. Right. But the fact that Renee really was not giving him any energy until the end, like the whole like sly comment about, since you know French, I don't give a fuck in French, and that was hilarious to me.
Right.
I feel like when you go to bother somebody at their job, they got the right to bother you back, and that's just why I
Well, he
prolonged.
definitely did that. I mean, just the overall looking for information piece with, Daniel going back and them, Jax and Corey trying to hold it off from telling the judge, all these things that, obviously the DA is very much aware, but just trying to keep it under wraps, trying to keep a hold on it and doing throwing all Hail Marys essentially to try to
Right.
get that information. And that's what Daniel does best.
Yeah, and honestly, Daniel, I need a Daniel. We need a Daniel. We could share him. We need a Daniel.
I'll agree
Okay,
with that.
we need a Daniel. But as we continue, they call up the DA Lucy to work out a deal to try to also keep this momentum of getting in front of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucy want blood, man. I don't care. She like pleading her case like the jury there, and Corey's like, the jury's not even here. Why are you doing all that? Do you
Right,
really
like chill
feel like
out.
she? Do you really feel like she's a danger? And then she proceeds to go on the public release and saying Chanel may be armed and dangerous, and that right there was a bit extreme for me, especially because we see her receive a phone call in the episode and it's like some weird number didn't
Mm-hmm.
answer,
That keeps
and
hanging up, right?
the assistant of hers offers to get her a new SIM card and a new number. Then we see her make the phone call checking on the status of an inmate in jail, and he's still incarcerated. So it's like the weight of what Corey said the last episode of like there's a reason why you keep moving and da da da.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's
Mm-hmm.
shedding a lot more light on that. And the way he said to her in court in front of the judge, I feel like was another knock at that, which is why when we did see that part of the show, it was like, hmm, what is deeper here? Like, who is this guy that she's checking in on? Is this the ex-husband? She did say she was a single mom. Now I have like 50,000 questions going off in my head.
Questions, yeah.
Like, like what's going on here? You know, that's why I said I'm waiting to see what the rest of the season has to offer before I pick a favorite episode. Okay. Uh, dang. Hold up, my bad. I lost my train of thought.
No, all good. I definitely think that the DA is. It's very interesting that the dynamic that they're playing at her character, though, for her to possibly be a victim of abuse, to now going so hard in the paint on a woman who's been abused and has murdered her husband, the husband who was the abuser. It's kind of like, damn, sis, like what's happening here? Like what's going on? So it's very, very, very interesting for sure. And I do want to see. I'm hoping that they expound on her storyline a little bit more to see what she is running from, who she's running from, and why she ended up here.
Right. And that right there is what kind of threw me. Because maybe sometimes people feel like if I did it and I didn't kill him, you can do it too. You know what I mean?
Ah, yeah, yeah. That makes
So
sense. That makes sense.
that's where I'm thinking is coming from. But you're also not the same woman. You're
Mm-hmm.
also in a position where if you say something, people are going to listen. You're a district attorney. You know what
Right.
I mean? She was a housewife
Yeah.
who seemed to be that was getting called all types of names like gold digger, things like that, but they don't know what she was going through behind the doors, you know? So like it's definitely a little sticky when it comes to that. But luckily Daniel is great at what he does. He finds Adrien and Chanel, and let's kind of jump right into Adrien and Chanel before we continue that part, all right? Because I'm not gonna lie, when I seen them at the bank, I was like, "Who is this guy? Like, who the heck is she
Right.
with?
Yeah.
Like, is this a cousin, a family member?" And then I seen it was the dude who was selling the jewelry, and I was like, "Nah,
Yeah, I definitely did not expect it to be him, but I don't know who I expected to be, quite frankly. I didn't expect to see her with anybody if I was being honest about the situation. So the fact that this is happening adds so much more. This is like I don't think she understands how messy she's making this situation. You were having an affair. he was abusing you. You've moved money. You got a shell corporation. You ran away. You left the kids. You put the kids in the care of somebody else. Like, you're doing all the things that look like I'm trying to kill this man and go to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really
Right.
giving bad vibes. It really is. So I'm trying to figure out how and what she was thinking and how long have they been sleeping together. How, like, there's so many questions that need to be answered for this.
Yo, so
But
many questions.
yeah, I'm not, this is not a good look, at all. And just the thought of I guess her friend Sally saying, like, she looked at him like a little brother, and I'm like, how young is this dude, first of all?
Right.
And it's just too much, I think. And also, let's be clear that when you've been in a domestic situation, when somebody treats you completely different, like on 180 completely different, you tend to have on rose colored glasses and you don't see the red flags, right? And I think that had she been paying attention a little bit more, she probably could have seen some things about Adrien that didn't add up. And I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
I don't know what it holds for her.
for me, it's like, why are you so willing to throw away your football career to run away with me?
Mm-hmm.
I just killed your friend. Like, you gonna keep it a bean, we're gonna keep it a bean. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just killed your friend. So were they messing around when JT was still alive?
I think so.
Like, it would have had to be, because she's already saying she loved him.
Yeah.
And the way he said I love you to her was very, I don't know, it was sus to me.
Nah, my man, it was definitely sus. And
It was
then it was even more sus when he said, I'm in love with you. And I was like, nah, this guy, something's up.
love
Something's up. I
bombing.
don't like it. Love
Love
bombing.
bombing.
Yep.
Love bombing. I was like, nah, first of all, if you really cared about her that much, you wouldn't be telling her this right now while she's going through this. You're gonna wait till y'all
Mm-hmm.
get safe. Get through the mud first. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because she just buried her husband last week, bro. And you talk about I love you. Like, what is going on here? Like, I'm confused. I am
Yeah,
very
I don't think that they really either of them thought about it. And if it has been infatuation, you add the lust, you add the sex in the picture. You know what I mean? She knows, and he knows enough about the money because all he knew was that JT had it. Even if he's not like fully understanding, I again, the red flags are going off as to why this man helping you, and even down to what you said, right? Like, maybe the watches were actually real, but he pawned those and kept the money.
Yeah,
So anything
I
is
think so.
possible.
Especially as we see like what goes on later in the episode. It's like, did he keep the watches? Were they really fake? You know, because Chanel wasn't in the room when the watches was being appraised. You feel
This
me?
is true.
The
They
friends
let him
were.
handle it.
Yeah, they let him handle it. You know why? Because they
Yeah.
trusted him. But in all actuality, because he said they got JT. I looking at who JT was as a person, he's not letting anybody get him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either he knew they were fake or they wasn't fake. That's the only
Yeah.
two. There's no in between there for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, Adrien, eyebrow up at you, man. Like,
It's fishy. Jax and Corey need to get their hand on Adrien fast in a hurry.
yeah, they really do. Because if they don't, it is gonna be downhill. Like, for their case, for their friend, well, for
Yeah.
Jackson's friend, like, it's really bad. I kind of wanted to touch base on the Jackson Chanel's conversation as well, like when they did
Mm-hmm.
find them, and how it was definitely, I feel, hard for Jax to even have that conversation with her friend, with the cops there. She said, I said no sirens, like things like that.
Right.
And
Yeah. Mad weird because of course I hate that there's so many shows that I've watched where they say no sirens and they still come in with sirens, and it's like you actively want to kill somebody. Like, you want to make this because people get paranoid. They tend to do things that out of fear,
right,
and scared. So I hate the whole narrative, but I do like that they had that moment where they were reciting that a song from like high school, I think, high school or
Yeah,
college. They both remember the lyrics. And so, yeah, that moment was very touching, but also again showing how Jax was really close to the situation and she needs to let Corey like lead this situation.
lead the situation. And for that, I felt that was the most genuine I've seen their friendship as far as Jax and Chanel. Because as we seen, like Jax is always the I'm gonna call you back friend.
Right.
And this time it's like I see you, friend. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciated that. That was like
I
really
I was
good.
gonna say I appreciate it as well, but what bothers me is I know for me I don't like the conversation that Jax and Chanel have at the
At
now
the
that
jail.
she's back in jail. You know what
Right.
I mean? Because it's giving guilt
Trip.
almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's giving guilt trip. It's giving like you have the capacity to do, and really and truly not knowing that Jax did not have the capacity. You see what I'm saying? Like she was barely functioning. So now that she's like going through this stuff, it's almost like you need to tell people what's really happening with you so they can understand. So Chanel can show some compassion because yes, you are going through this situation. This is also a situation you put yourself in, and I'm having to help you get out of. And you know that I have my own life. You know that I just got kidnapped. You know that I have kids. You know that my marriage is on the rocks. Like these things are not secrets. And so I just feel like it's a bit unfair and very selfish of Chanel to act as if this whole situation is not
Are
affecting the
you
people around us.
are you truly shocked? Like Chanel has been selfish since we've known Chanel. Like even going on the run. Because I'm pretty sure it was brought up that her cousin put up the house for her bail.
Mm,
I know it did. It had to because that was a big issue within Sally's house. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure Sally confided in her friends and in
yeah,
her cousin because she talked to her cousin about everything else. The cousin, the one who
yeah,
took the pictures. Sally's the one who got the custody of the children. So clearly, you guys are close enough for that. So why?
right.
So why would you put your cousin's house at jeopardy? You
Because you
know,
don't care.
you don't care. And the fact that she tried to reverse reverse card on Jax, like I seen you do all these amazing, extraordinary things for your previous clients, but now that it's
Hmm.
my turn, you hand me off to Corey, and it's like, little do you know, I didn't even have the capacity to hand you off to Corey, but I had to do what was best for not only you, but my marriage.
Right.
People don't think about that far ahead, especially when they're in the thick of things. So I feel Jax
Hmm.
isn't going to take it personally because she's behind the walls of jail and Jax is free. You know what I mean? But she like, I will do everything in my power to help you.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like she should have doubled down on the fact that like me getting Corey for you was me showing up. But I guess you don't kick a dog when they down, so just let her have a little moment. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Chanel has shown selfishness throughout the last three episodes for sure, and just how she's not considering other people and what they've done for her thus far. And that whole Sally situation, we talked about it, last episode. Like, did she or did she not go behind her husband's back and put the house up as collateral? And I mean, I gotta say, I'm highly disappointed.
I am very disappointed because Sally, you knew better. You had the best conversation with your husband, and he said I wouldn't even do it for my own family
Hmm.
because my family comes first. This family that I made, and I
Yeah,
respect that. And the fact that he had to find out because she
during the
yelled it to the
raid.
cops. Yes, she's like, I put this house up for collateral. You think I'm gonna help her run away? The husband said,
Hmm.
"Her?
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
Hello? Like, are you serious?
Craziness.
Are you serious right now? Like, this is what you nah." The cop said it's clearly you and your wife need to speak,
Yeah.
and but get out of our way. And that was crazy. Do you
That's
feel?
yeah, that part was definitely crazy because like why do you feel the need to raid my house? I feel like that was all the DA's doing for sure because she's putting the pressure on, everybody in Chanel's life to figure out how to best get to Chanel, not knowing that I don't think those things really matter.
Yeah, honestly, it was definitely trash. Considering like it's children in this house, they don't be caring about nothing. That's why a lot of people don't like the police right now because they just are very inconsiderate. They didn't have to bust through the door like they did.
Yeah, coming in
Here's your
there with
copy of the
guns
warrant.
drawn and you know that their kids present. That's crazy.
Traumatized.
You're right. That's definitely why a lot of folks do not respect the cops because they don't have respect for life. They really don't. I just feel like in this particular moment, kids are present. You know that you're coming in here at an hour where kids are more likely sleep, and you felt the need to do this in this manner in this way. So yeah, I'm not a fan, but Sally definitely is on the shit list, and quite frankly, she should be the one in the doghouse, right? Like she should be sleeping on the couch,
Couch.
like
Listen, you know
because
what? I respected him just staying on the couch himself. You feel me? I respect it because he's upset, but he's still at home.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's true.
And the thing that got me is that now they're the ones responsible for the whole bill.
So I don't think that they are themselves, but I think the entirety, the three friends, and to include Sally's husband, are which is crazy to me. But I'm not unfamiliar with that, so I do like get it. But I just don't understand why they are still responsible if they were able to find her. I guess because she had already missed
Yeah,
the
she already
hearing
missed
date.
the hearing, and that's why I
Yeah.
go. It's go based off the date, not based off when they get you.
Right.
And
True. True. True.
by you doing that, you just forfeited close to two. No, forget it. You forfeited two
3
million
mil.
dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Close to $3 million. Yeah.
that's crazy. And your
Knowing
cousin,
that you had it and you use other people's money and house as collateral, it's even crazier. Yeah. Back to the being selfish part for sure.
selfish, bro, selfish. Didn't care.
Yeah.
Did not care. And that's the part that I'm like, are you really that shocked that she came at Jax the way she did in that cell?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. You're
because she
right.
had time to sit with her selfish thoughts, and it sat and ate at her, and she felt like, you know what? When I see Jax, I'm gonna give her a piece of my mind, and that's what she
Mm-hmm.
did. And it came off very ungrateful to me personally.
Yeah.
Like, how do you say I'm not here for you? I've been there. I'm the person who first arrived because you ain't even called the cops first.
Right. You call me. This is a fact. This is a fact.
Like, how am I not there for you? You was getting questioned by the police. I walked into the room and said, you cannot talk to her.
Right.
I protected you, but to the best of my ability. I got
Yeah.
you the best lawyer in the game that deals with your type of cases. How am I
Yeah.
not there for you? How am I not showing up? Because my face isn't in the front?
Yeah.
Sometimes knowing how to
No,
be a team player is the best move.
that
And
part for
Chanel is
sure.
not a team player.
That part. Yeah.
And it's very apparent. She even
I
gave the kids up.
definitely agree.
Who you teaming up with? Adrien?
Yeah.
The nigga who
Yeah.
owe somebody some money? You
Right.
know?
Because that's definitely how the episode ended. And as soon as that car pulled up, I was like, nah, my man owes somebody money. He owes
Yeah,
somebody money, and that's why he's trying to get with Chanel. How much money do he owe, and why is the question for
right.
me.
Honestly, being that he was in the NFL, I think it really has something to do with sports betting or gambling. Like, that's what it's given. At least that's my
Mm,
speculation. Let me know in the
okay.
comments, guys, what y'all think. Y'all
Yeah,
think
let
it,
us know what you think.
what y'all think he really did, you know?
He ain't
But
no good. He
ain't
ain't
no
no
good,
good.
ain't no good. Man, I ain't gonna front. This was a lot, man.
This was a lot. This episode was fully packed, but I do appreciate them hitting the tidbits and giving us just enough for each storyline to keep us coming back to say, like, hey, there's so much more that we don't know that's happening here. I do hope that they get to flesh out these stories, to the fullest, because I don't want it to get too overpowered with multiple things happening where we don't get the main story, you know what I mean, to the
Right.
end. So yeah, for sure. This is a very, we only, like you said, we only on episode 3. I think that they're doing a good job so far, just keeping us interested. So y'all let us know what y'all thoughts are in the comments, how you're feeling. How do you feel so far about the whole season? Are you feeling it? Are you not feeling it? What do you think about this situation with Shanelle and Jax? Jax and Corey, Jackson Lewis and the kids, and how mad are you at Sally for putting up her daggone house as collateral?
Stupid.
Yeah, not
She
feeling
deserves
it.
everything
But
that comes her way. But
listen,
I
let's
like
hope that he finds it in his heart to forgive. I don't know, man. Stay mad at her for a little while and then forgive her.
man,
Make her sweat it
definitely put
out.
her on the couch, man. Definitely put her on the couch. Would you put her on the couch? Let us know. Put a couch emoji in the
So I'm
comments.
about to say, put a couch emoji in it. See, this is why we partners. This is why we partners.
Listen,
For
man. Put a
sure.
couch emoji.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Until next time, you can find us here, Big Oval Media. When the episode airs, we'll be right behind it. So we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.